she began her hip-hop music career while she was in Minnesota. She released 2 studio albums, Lizzo Bangers, in 2013 and Big Girl Small World in 2015. Her first major label EP was Coconut Oil, and it was released in 2016. Lizzo got mainstream success when she released her 3rd album called 'Cause I Love You in 2019, which peaked at number 4 on the US Billboard 200. The deluxe version of the album included her single from 2017 called Truth Hurts. That became a viral sleeper hit 2 years later, and it topped the US Billboard Hot 100 and became the longest leading solo by a female rapper. Now, not only is Lizzo a musician, she has also worked as an actress. She was a voice actor in the animated film Ugly Dolls in 2019. And she was in the crime comedy drama Hustlers in 2019. She is the host of the Amazon Prime Video reality TV series called Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls, and she won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Competition Program. In 2019, Time magazine named her the Entertainer of the Year for her meteoric rise and contributions to music. She has won 4 Grammy Awards, a Billboard Music Award, a BET Award, and 2 Soul Train Music Awards. You probably know that throughout Lizzo's career, she has experienced a lot of body shaming due to her size, and she has become known to be a role model and advocate for body positivity and self-confidence. Now, let's jump to the present time. So, this month in August of 2023, 3 former backup dancers filed a civil lawsuit against Lizzo. So, the lawsuits were brought by Crystal Williams, Ariana Davis, and Noel Rodriguez. They allege 9 areas of misconduct related to their experiences on Lizzo's special, quote-unquote, special tour. Some of the claims are made against more than just Lizzo. There is also Shirlene Quigley, pressure on one of the plaintiffs to touch a dancer's breasts. So we'll get a little bit more into that in a minute. Other allegations had to do with religious harassment, which was against Shirlene Quigley, the dance team leader. She would speak extensively about her own religious views as a Christian, and she berated those who did not share the beliefs that she had. She pressured the dancers into participating in group Christian prayer, regardless of what religion they actually were. So supposedly she preached her Christian beliefs at every opportunity she had, and it was said that she proselytized to any and all in her presence, regardless of protestations. Once she found out that Davis was a virgin, she discussed the subject in interviews and in social media posts. And then there was how she treated Rodriguez, who was what she considered to be a non-believer. She would constantly pressure her and talk to her about religion. And when she was asked to stop, she said, quote, "No job and no one will stop me from talking about the Lord." Another part of the lawsuit has to do with the allegation that Lizzo repeatedly expressed concerns regarding weight gain of the dancer Davis. In addition, Davis discussed a surprise audition where Lizzo required the dancers who were already employed to re-audition for their positions. Davis said this required them to have a 12-hour rehearsal ahead of the audition, and then she was so nervous that she soiled herself during the audition, and supposedly she was given a see-through pair of shorts to wear with no undergarments after soiling her own clothing. The dancers also claimed that they were discriminated against by the management group, who allegedly, quote, treated the black members of the dance team differently than the other members. The dancers said that Lizzo had told them not to take on other jobs during their downtime, and in return she would pay them 25% of their weekly rate during downtime, as opposed to 50% that the other dancers were making during downtime, and that was due to, quote, unacceptable and disrespectful behavior while on tour. And they weren't given any specifics about what that meant, but that was why they were getting 25% and the other people were getting 50%. Now, the whole story about the strip club had to do with the time when they were on tour in Amsterdam. And after they were done performing, they went regarding whether or not they wanted to participate, so to speak, since they didn't know what they were getting into. Lizzo had had repeated arguments with Williams regarding whether or not dancers had been drinking on the job. And then on April 26th, Williams was fired in a hotel lobby by the manager, who said that it was due to budget cuts. But no one else was fired at that time for budget cuts. On April 27th, Lizzo had a meeting with the dancers, during which time she talked about the firing of Williams, and she told the group that she has, quote, eyes and ears everywhere. And Davis recorded that meeting. She said because she suffers from an eye condition that sometimes left her disoriented during stressful situations. And I don't know how Lizzo found out that she recorded it, but somehow she did. And a couple of days later, Lizzo held an emergency meeting and had the security staff confiscate all the dancers' phones to see who had recorded the meeting. Quote, Lizzo became furious, hurling expletives at the group, and stated that she was going to go around the room, person by person, until someone told Lizzo who made the recording, end quote. So at that point, Davis admitted that she was the one who did it, saying she wanted to have a copy of Lizzo's performance notes, and that she hadn't meant any harm and she had deleted the video already. But Lizzo said, quote, there is nothing you can say to make me believe you, end quote. And then Charlene Quigley and Lizzo took turns berating Davis for this, and she was immediately fired. Before Lizzo left this meeting, Rodriguez told her that she felt disrespected and would resign. And Lizzo responded by, quote, cracking her knuckles, balling her fists, and using an expletive to tell Rodriguez she was lucky. And then as Rodriguez walked out, Lizzo raised both her middle fingers and yelled a slur at her. This lawsuit also alleges false imprisonment against Lizzo's production company because one of the security people forced Davis to remain in the room after the meeting ended so he could search her phone for the video. This lawsuit does not specify a dollar amount for damages that cover emotional distress, including unpaid wages, loss of earnings, and attorney fees. Now, Lizzo posted the following statement on Instagram regarding the lawsuit. Quote, these last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are unbelievable, as they sound too outrageous not to be addressed. These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. I am not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I am not the villain that people and the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. I am very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I am not. There is nothing I take more seriously than the comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they aren't valued as an important part of the team. I'm hurt, but I will not let the good work I've done in the world be overshadowed by this. I want to thank everyone who has reached out in support to lift me up during this difficult time. Ron Zambrano, the attorney who is representing the three plaintiffs, released this statement in response to what Lizzo said. Quote, Lizzo has failed her own brand and has let down her fans. Her denial of this reprehensible behavior only adds to our client's emotional distress. The dismissive comments and utter lack of empathy are quite telling about her character and only serve to minimize the trauma she has caused the plaintiffs and other employees who have now come forward sharing their own negative experiences. While Lizzo notes it was never her intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable, that is exactly what she did, to the point of demoralizing her dancers and flagrantly violating the law. So of course Lizzo's attorney, Marty Singer, called the lawsuit, quote, specious and without merit. Now I had to look up specious, or is it specious? S-P-E-C-I-O-U-S. It means superficially plausible, but actually wrong. Probably specious. Okay, so he said, quote, evidence of this being a sham lawsuit is confirmed by one of the plaintiffs, Ariana Davis, in her own words in her video interview for season 2 of A Watch Out for the Big Girls in April 2023, which she made after the European tour, after virtually all of her alleged claims referred to in her lawsuit had already occurred. Notwithstanding her claims in the lawsuit that it was so horrible to work with Lizzo as a dancer after being on tour with Lizzo, she actually auditioned to continue working with Lizzo as a singer on an upcoming tour as part of a girl group. So in that video that he mentioned, what Davis had actually said in the video was, it's been so amazing and such a beautiful journey. My voice has gone quiet for too long, and I think that I have a story that people need to hear because I think they can relate to it. And it can help change lives and do what Lizzo is doing. I look up to her so much. I just want to follow in her footsteps, and I just want to share that with the Queen Lizzo herself. End quote. So Davis came back to respond to all this by saying that she had actually made that statement prior to the events that she is suing over. Now, after the lawsuit broke out, there were other people who came forward to speak of Lizzo's bad behavior, such as Courtney Hollingquest, who was a dancer in the past. She said, I'm not a part of the lawsuit, but this was very much my experience in my time there. Big shout share with you some of my own thoughts. Now, I will say that I never knew anything about Lizzo's personality. I knew her music. I knew that she had been fat-shamed, and I just automatically assumed that she was probably a kind and tolerant person. I mean, I really didn't pay it much thought at all, but I just assumed she's been through a lot, I am sure. A lot of shaming, a lot of discrimination. So I figured she's learned from that, and she is probably very, very kind. Okay. So now I'm hearing not so much. Do I believe it? Do I think they're making it up? Well, I was never there, and I do not know. But what I think is there are enough people telling the same story about Lizzo for me to believe it. Okay, I'm not saying it's true, but from what they're saying, I believe it. So the next question is, can they win this lawsuit though? Like, whether or not these things are true, are they something that you can sue for? You know, are these sexual harassment things really sexual harassment? You know, let's get into that a little bit. So the thing I'm wondering is, if these things occurred outside of working hours, can you call it sexual harassment? You know, so they were not specifically required to go to the strip club in Amsterdam, for example, right? And although they're saying it was felt that if you went, you would be more liked, you know, and it'd be a better chance that you'd keep your job and all. But is a feeling enough to sue over? You know what I mean? Can you say, we all felt it, you know, it's just a feeling? Like, I'm not disputing it personally. I understand, you know, feelings are real and you can get those feelings, it could be totally true. But is that enough? Just to say we felt it. It was unspoken, you know? Nobody ever said, you better go to this thing after hours, or you're gonna get fired, or you're not gonna be liked. No one ever said that. No one ever wrote that. It was a feeling, okay? So yeah, it sounds more like a bunch of friends, like a friend group, rather than a, employer and the staff, right? It's just a bunch of people going to this strip club, and one of them is a mean girl, and she's pushing everyone to do things that they don't want to do. She didn't physically push them, but just, you know, egg them on. So, you know, I don't know, because I'm not a lawyer. Is it considered workplace sexual harassment to do something like this when you're not at work and it's not work hours? It's not lunchtime during work. It's not a work meeting, you know? It's just work is over and we're all going to go chill out at this place. So you know what I'm saying? I don't have to, you know, beat it to death. So I'm just wondering that. I mean, like I said, I totally get it that she bullied them and she is the boss. She pushed them to do things they don't want to do. Specifically this one woman who did not want to touch anyone. I wouldn't want to either, you know? And when they went to Paris and they weren't told that it was going to be like a nude cabaret, they were surprised when they got there. You know, some people would say, hey, you don't like it, just leave. Like, no one tied you down. Like, you don't like it, leave. It's easy to say that, right? And that's probably what Lizzo would say to these people. Hey, if you didn't like it, you should have just left. Like, I wasn't going to do anything if you left. That's up to you, you know? So, there's that. Now, the religious harassment piece. Yeah, I guess that's kind of clear cut, you know, that that is like religious harassment in a workplace for you to sit there and tell people that they should be religious like you and keep, you know, berating them about their own behavior. Can you put a dollar sign on that? You know, I don't know how much you would expect to win in a lawsuit about that. So why would she be criticizing one of them for weight gain? Like, I don't understand that. Like, that just seems odd to me. I mean, it could very well have happened, but it just doesn't seem to make any sense. So anyway, let's talk about Lizzo's response that she posted on Instagram. Now, let's not forget, I am sure somebody wrote it for her, right? She didn't just go out there and post something on her own. Somebody wrote it. Her lawyers looked at it, her PR people looked at it, and that's what they posted. But it was not good for a few reasons. Number one, it was way too long. Way too long. People are not going to read all of that on Instagram. It's supposed to be for photos, right? But she, instead of a photo, she posted this long thing. And the mistake that everyone is saying she made is that she showed no empathy. You know, now, I get it, like, if someone is suing you in real life, you have zero empathy for them. Usually you're angry. You want to curse at them, you want to say bad things at them. Okay, but that's not how you do it on social media, right? You have to come in and sound really sweet, be like, I am so sorry that these people felt this way. I had no intention for anyone to be uncomfortable or unhappy when they worked for me, you know, something like that. Okay, so she should have started out with that and gone from there, you know, but she didn't. She was not really at all apologetic. She was just basically saying it was meritless, and, you know. So now I am wondering, and you are wondering, will she be canceled? Will her career be over? That is a very good question. And I feel like what usually happens is, like, if I could see into the future, here is what I see. She will probably settle out of court. We won't know how much she settles for. They will not be allowed to talk about it or to discuss anything else about what happened while they were working for her. And a new scandal involving somebody else will come out, and everyone will forget about Lizzo. For the most part. I mean, they won't forget, but they won't be thinking about it so much. And she will go on to be not as popular as before. She probably won't win any Emmys or Grammys, but her career will not be over, I don't think. So, I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found it to be thought-provoking. I look forward to seeing